Okay, so now we need to talk a little bit more about the plasma membrane. You may also often hear the plasma membrane referred to as the cell membrane. It is not a cell wall. The cell wall is only found in plants. So plasma membrane, cell membrane, not cell wall. And let's just remind ourselves of the components here. We've got a phospholipid. Remember, it's hydrophilic on this side, so that is going to be the part that sits next to the water outside the cell. This part here is also hydrophilic, so that sits next to the watery liquid inside the cell. And then here, you've got these tails, and the tails are going to clump together. And so you end up with one layer of phospholipids, a second layer, and so it's called a bi-layer, bi meaning two. Now you're going to notice that this cell membrane not only has these phospholipids, but it also has cholesterol embedded in it. And just know that we don't really, for this class, don't really have to know what cholesterol does for membranes. Just know it's important. And so a lot of times nutritionally, cholesterol gets a bad rap. You don't want too much cholesterol, but you do want to have cholesterol because it's important in the membranes. This here is showing some carbohydrates, some sugars that are attached to some of your lipids. That happens, and a lot of times you see there's actually a number of carbohydrates out here on the outside of the cell, and those are actually really important in how cells recognize each other. These carbohydrates are kind of like a fingerprint of the cell. Okay. A few other things that you may notice is that these here are proteins that are embedded in this membrane. So here's the membrane, and here's a protein embedded in it. In some cases, these proteins might be next to the membrane, but not embedded in it. So let's look briefly at this video, and I'll talk through it. We're getting up close to a cell here. And as we get up close to the cell, it's going to show us this lipid bilayer, and it's a bit flowy and fluid, and that's shown by this movement. But notice this big thing trying to get past this hydrophobic barrier, and it's pretty difficult. Those hydrophobic portions of the phospholipids really like to stick together. But, and this is important, we don't want nothing to get from outside to inside or inside to outside. We want some things to get across. Think about it. When you eat your food, you want nutrients to get across the cells of the digestive system and into your body. This is a good thing. You would die without it. But we don't want just anything to get across. We're going to be selective about it. And so it's called selective permeability right down here. The cell's picky about what it lets in and out. Now, one of the big ways that it lets things in and out is through these proteins. And so you notice things are going in and out through these proteins, and those proteins are very selective. They'll only let specific molecules in and out. Now, there are going to be a few types of molecules that can go directly through the plasma membrane without going through one of these membrane proteins, but that's more rare. It does happen, and it's actually very important, but most things take a protein to get in and out, and we'll talk about a few other ways. Okay. So the rest of this lesson is going to be about talking about how things get past the plasma membrane. And that's where we'll go next.